Hello, everybody. All right, my connection is good. I think today is going to be Today is going to be. Did I? Okay. Let's see. We are live and kicking. All right. So today I'm just going to cover a few things I've learned, and also let me see. I would have prepared a list, but I did not do that. So we can start with let me see, some Vim topics. I learned about buffers, also about, what do you call it, buffers and the swap file, right? So usually when you create a file in Vim automatically creates a hidden file called .swp. It's called a swap file, and that file is actually used to keep track of every changes you make in your current Vim file. I'll show you what that is in a bit, but let me quickly I'm coming. Let me check my stream again and see if all is going well. So we are back. This is okay. So let me open this again and come back to this way. So I'll create a file. So we are going to write some C code as well, and also we are going to have some practical examples with buffers in Vim. Hello, Kane. Kane is actually. Oh yeah, I'm actually streaming my process of learning Vim and C programming. Yeah, so just like the chapter, I'm just trying out a new programming language with a new code editor. So I actually find Vim very fascinating. It's really cool to me. So I actually decided to learn it and see, what I get from it. Yeah. So I also read that with C you can actually do a lot of system programming, and I'm actually interested in system programming, so I just decided to combine the two and learn them. Yeah. All right, so let's create first of all, I'm not going to create a C file yet, but let's just create a test file, a simple test file. Call this file in fact, if you do this, you see it will open Vim for you automatically. Just type Vim and then you see this, right? But if you want to open a file inside of Vim, you type Vim followed by the file name, right? So I'll just come here again. I can do this. I can say AE and then let's say a.txt. Now this is a buffer, right? Now a buffer is actually a file, but a file in memory. The reason why, so there is file, your actual file, and a buffer file. So for example, this file here has not been saved yet, right? If you do something like this, ls, you see this here, this line here is telling us the buffer that is currently open, right? So this is also a file, but in Vim, when you are editing the file, at the point of editing the file, it is called a buffer, right? So now let me clear this, and I can begin to type something here. I can say so let's go into insert mode. I'll say hello, this is my first okay buffer file, and then we can type anything else. Was it buffers are files saved in memory, right? Memory, aka RAM. So they are fast, and yeah, so let me just keep it this way. I just type this random text here. So one thing I can do is come back here. Now this file is created, right? I can create a new buffer, right? New without a name, right? So now, okay, we need to first of all save this file. So we can do W to write, and then new, and then you can see we are in a new buffer, right? We open the new buffer, but check this out. When I do ls, you will see the previous a.txt file that I created plus this current new buffer. Now this buffer here does not have a name, right? Or this file, in another word, it's also a file, but it is not yet saved on our hard disk, right? So it's still a buffer, it's still in memory. So here's what you can do. If you type ls, you'll be able to see it here. You can see this percentage sign means this current buffer is the what we are viewing on this window, and this one here means the previous buffer, the previous buffer we actually opened, right? So if you want to show the previous buffer, if you want to move to the previous one, you can just do I think B with this here will move you to the previous one. If you do ls again, you can see the other one is gone because we did not save it. We didn't write it to disk, so it automatically disappears. So now when we do something like this, we say new, or you can just say right, followed by the name of the buffer, or simply means edit, right? So if you want to create a new buffer, I think you can do b.txt, right? No matching buffer. Yeah, so this means I'm trying to edit a buffer that is called b.txt, but it doesn't exist, so we get that error. So let's go back again and create a new file. So I'll say b.txt, right? And then I'll just add some text here. Let me just copy some lorem ipsum text here. Lorem ipsum, yeah. So I will just bring this back. Let me just copy some lorem tests here. Yeah, okay, so we have some lorem tests on the screen. Now, you know what, let's actually make this easier, because now, okay, I just quit Vim, sorry. Vim a.txt, back again, ls. So we don't have b here because, I mean, if you go to the terminal and let's check in this directory, pwd, you can see we are in this directory here. So let's list the files. You can see it's only the a.txt file that was created. So let's go back again and create the b file. So we can say b.txt again. Now you can see this is what I was talking about. So the swap file is actually meant to keep track of the changes you make in a buffer. So really this error here is trying to tell me that I have this b.txt file, right, opened in another window. Now it's asking me if I want to read it or I want to make changes to it or simply recover the file. Now I accidentally quit Vim, so which is why I'm getting this error. So here's what I can do. I can just go back to, let's say, edit, right? So I put E. So now we are back into b.txt. If I do ls now, we can see the previous buffer, which is a.txt, and then b.txt, which is the current buffer opening. Now if you want to open the buffers side by side, you can do something like this: vs, which is vertical split, b, and then we go to the alternate buffer, which is this sign here, and then when we press enter, the vsb command, not an editor. Oh, sorry. What's the command again? Let me see. Vs, is it VSP? Oh, hold on. I wrote it down somewhere. Vertical split. Oh, so it's VSB, right? VSB, and then the number of the buffer or the buffer name. Let's say a.txt. No. What's going on? Vertical split will vertically split this, but this is still the same buffer. So let's quit this and say vertical split a.txt. I actually prefer to use the buffer name because now this is like way more straightforward than just like try to move to the alternate one. I don't know why that did not work. So let's quit this again. I'll close this one. You know what? Let's open it back. I'll just go to here, and then let's move to the next window, right, where b.txt. You can see here this is showing this window here is a.txt and this other one here is b.txt. So to move between the screens, you can press W, Control W with the JKL movement, right? So if you press Control W and L, it will move to the left. Control W and H it will move to the right. So you can see H here, and then L here will move it left and right. Okay, so we want to be on the right side anyways. So let's insert some text here. I'll say hello world, right? Hello Vim, simple JKL for simple movement in Vim, right? We can also do that. And sorry, I have you know what, let me actually share some things here. I'll move this. Okay, just a second please. Floki. Oh, sorry. My mic is not muted. Christ, I thought it's backing. Okay, now I'm back again. JKL for simple movement in Vim. You know what? Let's add an additional line. We can just say here, you know what? If you, I'll write some C program actually, but I'm just like trying to like prepare some Vim commands here and see what works and not. So let's just save this buffer again. So to save the buffer, we exit, we go into normal mode, and then we come back here, we save, right? So we have written b.txt. You can see the notification is here, and then we can now move back into the previous window. So we say Control W and then H. So now we are back to the side. Now notice how Vim always remembers where the cursor was, right? When you moved out of it. In fact, let me show you this. If I moved down the page, which is on line 4, right? And then I move back into this other window, which is b.txt, my cursor will still go back to the same position. Let me show you that. So L here, you can see, let's move back to the, let's move up here, right? When I go back to the previous window again, Control W and H, you can see we are back at the same position. Now this is possible because of the swap file, right? So Vim keeps track of every movement and every edits you make to a file, right, to a buffer, and it automatically remembers where the cursor was by the time you try to go back to a particular buffer, right? Now once the file is saved, it's no longer a buffer, and the swap file is removed. In fact, let me show you an example of this. So I'll open a new window here, an entirely new window, and then I'll try to cd to projects, and then let's say we have YouTube chapter 6 here. Okay, all right, so YouTube ls what chapter 6 is not, wait, where are we here? pwd print working directory. Yes, so all right, my bad. So I was in this practice folder, so let's just cd into it. I don't need, or we just simply move the chapter. Okay, so let's move practice chapter 6 to this place, right? Can we move it here? Yep, we did. And it moved chapter 6. Okay, yeah, chapter 6 is here. Now we can cd into chapter 6, and then, you know, list all the files here. You can see we have the a.txt and b.txt. Now if we try to move, if we try to let's say ls.a, so you can see we have some swap file. These are hidden files, right? You can see we have .a.txt.swp. So this is a file that Vim itself creates to keep track of your changes, right? So you can, I've actually never viewed this file before. So let's say let's see. Okay, so it's actually a binary file, so we can't see a readable form of it. This is like machine code, so we don't need to see this anymore. We can't understand it anyways. So now when we open this file here, say let's try to vim a.txt clear. Now the reason why I use clear instead of Control L, some of you might be pissed with me constantly typing clear, it's because if I type Control L, I'm still able to scroll through the past commands that I've typed, but I don't want that. So I just want to clear everything at once and be able to like move you know, this line all the way to the top. Let me show you an example of that. If I did less a.txt, you can see it's here, quit, right? Let me type a bunch of commands, or let me say pwd print working directory. Let's do it again. Let's do it one more time. Now if I press Control L, this will clear it from the screen, right? It is faster, but when you scroll, you'll be able to see all of this. And I don't like seeing this once I'm done, with the command. So what I'll do is that I type here, and then when you scroll on your mouse, it is completely gone. So now let's try this. So we can go back to we can go to, let's say, vim a.txt. Now you can see there's an error, right? Not an error per se, but like a warning that we have this file opened in a different window, which is true because it's already opened here, right? Okay, we can see some command here so that the files are no longer available. Okay, so the reason why that is showing is because I actually okay, something interesting. The reason why that showed is because I moved the folder into a different folder, right? The parent folder, the practice folder, into the YouTube folder, which is why we got that error there. But nevertheless, these files are still open in a different window, and we need to be able to save and close them, right? If you save and close the file, the swap file gets automatically deleted, so you no longer have to it's not there for eternity. It's actually there to keep your changes in one place in case your Vim instance crashes or your computer automatically shuts down, right? So for whatever reasons, you'll be able to recover those files. So you can see here. So what I'm going to do, something interesting is happening here, and I'm not sure why. Maybe because I've moved the files, but I'm unable to do anything here. Okay. Oh, all right. I'm able to do something. Okay, so let's print the pwd. You can see the file I've moved. Okay, the files I've moved to this directory here, to the YouTube directory. Okay, this is cool. So now what we'll be able to do is to let's say if I wanted to make this window a little wider, I can do Ctrl W with this arrow. Okay, no, that didn't work. So I'll do this. I'll do that. Okay. So let's take a look at some commands here. I've actually written down some of them. And you can see all of these have been commands that I look from time to time to, instead of resizing the windows, I'm just going to continue with the buffer changes. So another thing you can do is to let's see, you can make you can delete a buffer by simply typing bd. Okay, so imagine you had an editor like Visual Studio, right? You usually have the files listed on the sidebar, and then you can click through to view them, right? Now, since in our Vim setup we don't have a sidebar to see those files, so imagine we had here, let me just quit this part. Okay, let's write this and quit. Now imagine we wanted to move to a different file in this same place, right? So what we can do is I'll just come here and then list here, so we can see we have the buffers listed here, and I can just do bn, so it will move to the next buffer. Now you can see this is the a.txt file. If I want to move to the next one, bn, okay, you can see found a swap file. So meaning the other file was okay, it's open. So let's quit this. let's go back here. So it means there's a window where the b.txt file is opened, and I can't seem to find that file yet. So what's going on? I mean, can I see all the, how do I see the windows that are opened? Or do this? How do I see the open windows? Well. I mean, we know here. Okay, get out of him. Oh, come on. Okay. We have this here. Now I can see 1 and 3. What does this mean? What does this mean? I'm still not familiar with that, so let's try it. Okay, let's go into normal mode, and then I'll just say buffer test right vn. I don't know why this is happening, but let's list the buffers again. You can see there's a 3 in front of, okay, ls. There's a 3 in front of this b.txt. Does that mean this is the third place it's opened, or what? Or is that the position of the mouse? No, it's not the position of the mouse. And this is definitely the b file, right? So what's happening here? I'm guessing, right, there is the file is actually open in a different window, but I don't know which window it is. p.txt is no longer available. What's going on? Hey, hold on. ls. Okay, it's there. You know what? Let me just escape this. I can just come here, say vertical splits b, right? Followed by the name of the vertical splits b.txt. Okay, it is open there, but oh, we have, okay, let's quit one and then vertical splits, sorry, a.txt. If you want to delete a buffer, you can just delete. Oh, let's delete this other buffer. Now you can see the cursor is in this place, in this column, this a.txt column, meaning any command you run here will run only for this particular file here. But if you want to run the command for this other one here, you need to move to that file with your cursor. So you can do Ctrl+W+L and then to move to the left. Let's delete that, right, and delete. So you do bd and then the buffer is gone. Yeah, all right, so it's that easy. So you've deleted the file. Actually, this is kind of strange. I'm not sure why that happened, the other error. Okay, I also noticed when I go to a file and come back to, I mean, in a different window and come back here, I get this error that says the file is no longer available. I'm not sure why that's happening, but yeah, we'll find out with time. So let's just go back up here, GG, and I'll just quit this file here. Let me just quit everything altogether. ls list a.txt b.txt. let's write some C code, right? So the last time we learned about functions and variables with the help of this book. Let me show you the book. What book was it? I was reading this other one. Yeah. So this is the book. The link is in the description of this video, so you can have access to it and see what's going on. So basically, it contains some C lectures, some C lessons, right? And how to, write some C code and so on. But one thing that actually stood out to me today was the random or the pseudo random function in C. So C actually doesn't have a random number generator, but they have a pseudo random number generator, which means it was just like it's a custom random number generator. Yeah. So I think I read it somewhere here. Was it here? Let's see. F rand. Okay, yeah. So you can see where this example repeat until certain random comes up. There was a place where this is pseudo. Okay, so all right. So side note, did you? Okay, let's write this code and actually see what happens, right? So I'll come back to my Vim editor here. Let me just move this away. I'll go back to Vim and try to like write the code there. So first of all, we need to clear. Okay, I don't need to clear it. Let me just use this because I need some of this to see what's happened here. All right, so we'll open a file called Vim. I usually like index.c, so let's just go with index.c. So first of all, need to include our set mode, sorry, our preprocessor directive. So let's say here include stdio.h here. Sorry, we don't need that. So int main, and then here we'll just come here, say printf hello world, like this, and then we can close. Okay, sorry, we can close this here. Bam. And then what we can do is to close this part. Just put that here, get out of Vim, correct the indentation here, write this file, and then open the terminal. So I like to run everything else in the terminal. So I also learned recently that I do not need to type gcc-o and then the name of the compiled version and the file name, right? Index.c. I don't need to type all of this. There's a shortcut, but this time around, right, when you type this, your executable file will have the name you passed here, right? But if you run the second command I'm about to show you, it will create a .out file, right? I don't know why that is, but I'll find out later on. So let's run this again. Now you can see the code has run well. If you go into ls, you'll be able to see the compiled version of the code, the executable file, which is index, just index, right? If you run this index, you see hello world printed in the terminal. Now let me show you another way to do that. I'll edit this file and change the code so we can compile it from scratch again. So we just press Ctrl W J, and then it will move you down to the window below, and then we can just come back here and let's go to let's go down here. Where were we before? Up. Why is it not moving? Why was it not moving? Let's move to this part here. I'll just go back a little and I'll type CI and then that to remove everything from the parenthesis, and I'll say hello new compiler like this, and then here we can just put this here like that. And yeah, so your compiler will save that for you. Let's write this file and then let's move to the window above. Okay, all right, so now you can do cc index.c and then the compilation will work, but this time around it will save .out file. So let's list it again. You can see a.out is here, and when we run this again, a.out, you can see the new compiler message is printed in the terminal. Another thing is you can actually let's see if this actually had an effect on the index file. So if you did let's say here index like this, no, it gives the previous compilation results and not the new one, because this only creates this file. So yeah, it doesn't affect the previous compilation, and that's okay. So let's go back here, Control WJ, then we are back here. Now what we want to do is to learn about functions, right? Let me create a new file here and I'll open it on this side. So I'll go to Control W here. Okay, let's quit this terminal. Control D. I'll create a new test file here and open it on the side. I think if I did vsplit e let's say topics.txt, would this work? Yes, it did. It actually worked, but I didn't like that it was on the left. I'll prefer it to be on the right. I don't know. Are there any swap commands for that? Wow, whose name is this? Oh, hello, gods. I'm not sure if I can say your name, but yeah, nice to meet you. I'm from okay, so I'm currently in Nigeria, right? So yeah, I'm in Nigeria, in Lagos to be precise. You should get a key reader. So when you click on it, how do I get that? Is there like a plugin to get the key reader? Is there a plugin for the key readers? Please let me know. Yeah, I actually like that. I've seen a lot of people, it shows on their screen where they are typing, which is really useful, and then to help you stay on track of what you've pressed on, because sometimes I really get confused. Yeah, no, I'm not on Linux. I'm actually using WSL for that's the Windows subsystem for Linux. So it's a Windows computer, but I'm using like Ubuntu inside of Windows with WSL. Okay, so let me write out the things I'm going to cover here. So here I'll just insert okay, the first line just going to be like that. So first of all, where I'll just create functions, right? Function prototype random numbers seeding random numbers like this. I'll just come here and then write. Let me just close this again. So I'll just quit this queue. Okay. I think if I did left, can I do L left vertical split? Is that possible? Let me see. Is there like a left vertical split? Let me see. If I do help splits like this, okay. SP split the correct window into 2, okay. What else? Equal direction, V splits, VS, also V splits. Like split pot vertically, this will be spread out horizontally, okay. You actually wanted, okay, is there, wait, hold on. The width is in other places Ctrl Q does the same. What's this end here? What does it say? Okay. Okay, you can see right TB right below. If wait, hold on. Let me quit this. Oh, you know what? Let me not quit it. I'll just move back here and then try to write. Middle right sword. Right vertical split. Topics. Okay. All right. This is not what it is. Right. Wait, ls either okay, so why is this not working? If it contains a command that splits a window, it will be opened to the right. Vertical split or below horizontal split. Yeah, so top left to right TB, closing window, quit. So left A, left above. Top left. What's the, you know what? Try to figure this out. So let's say we do top left, this top left, we want to move to the right, but vertical left split tags, vertical top left. Vertical top left. I think let's see. Do you see the I mean, let me try this again. Okay, so vertically, if I did VSP, vertical split, right, is VS. Okay, and I want to split, but I want to split to the left. So is there like left vertical split, right below? Okay, you know what, let's try it. Left VSP. Is there left VS? Help left VS. Nope, it does not exist. Okay, help left, so left VS like this. Okay, let me try and Google it and see if I'll get the answer. Dun, dun, dun. Hello, David Alexander. So they say, do you see my links? Did you send any links? I did not see any links here. There's no links. Okay. So we have a few. Let me see. Right below, is that left above the split? Wait, it says split below and split right. Okay, let's move back up again. Sorry, Control W key, and then we are here. It says terminal wing key. Note that the split below, split right options influence where any window will appear. So where is the split below? It is just the V splits anyways. So split below, split above. If I did split below, above, left above, right below, You know what, let's do it this way. I'll just come here, Control W, and then Control WJ will move me below, and then we can do wait, we can say split. So let's say left below. Is that left below? I mean, split right, split below, left below, and then we can say, what can we do here? Left below. Let me type the name of the file. Topics. V split. Why is it not? What's going on? My buffers are here. E.topics. Is it E topics? Why is it E topics and not topics? What's inside of E? You know what? Let's open the terminal again. I'll just list everything here. Oh, no wonder. You know, how do you rename a file in how to rename a file in Linux? So use the mv is move, right? Move. Okay, mv e topics to topics.txt. ls. Okay, now let's see, let's quit this terminal. I press Control D and then come back here. So let's say want to vertically split it to the left, so I can say left, no, so right, vs. Okay, it didn't work. If left above or left B, right B below, okay, this split, okay, topics.txt. Awesome, this is what I wanted. Now we can close the help side. So Control W H, no, Control W K will close the, so we can come here and just quit it. Okay, this is nice. So we have the topics on the left, and then we have every other thing on the right. I mean the right and the left, sorry. So let's come back to this part here. Control W and J, sorry, Control W L, Control W H. We are on this side here. Okay, so we can begin writing our code. So first of all, let's create a function that does something, right? So let's move to the second line. So 2 capital G, and then we can just create a function here, and I'll call this function, this function does not return anything, so let's type void hello function, and just put print f, right, print f hello, or just say saying hello like this, and then just close this here. Okay, I don't know why I did that, so that wasn't necessary. So close it here like this, and come back here, put this here to close the curly braces, go to normal mode and properly indent. At least that's how I do it. I'm not sure if there was another way. So now we can come here and call this function, right? We can make a call to the function by first of all compiling it. But before I do that, I'll just try to here, let's call the function. Actually, I'll just go back up again. Sorry, go up with k, end of the file with $sign O to insert a new line and then indent the line. And here's what I'll do. Is it possible for me to do something like this? I'll say print, right? Nah, I can't do that. Wait, let me try it first. There's no way that won't be possible. Print so this, can you call a print inside of print? So let's say print hello, right? Hello func, which is hello function, here like this. Oh sorry, let's call the function close and put it like that. So we get out of this, let's write this file, come back here, open the terminal term like this, and then let's say gcc index, is it index.c? Okay, all right. It is not possible to call a function. I mean, if this function was returning a value, then that would be possible, right? All we needed to do is to just call the function here. Sorry, that was my mistake. So I'll just delete this line here, right? Okay, yeah, let's delete the line, and then let's put in the function call. So I'll say hello func, and then call this function like this. All right, and then exit vim, come here, right, move back up. Okay, let's open the terminal. First of all, the terminal. What? Okay, I'm opening the terminal in the wrong place, so sorry. Control W H to the right, and then we open the terminal here. All right, so we can now compile this code, cc index. Actually, I've typed this command a lot of time, it should work. All right, and now we can just say a.out, and you can see saying hello was printed first, right? And then the compiler's message followed, which is this line here on line 9. Now that's like function definition. Now you can do a lot of things with function definition, especially when you come from a different programming languages. Sorry. You must have used some functions, you know, returning a value and so on, right? Since this function will be returning anything, I just put void there, so there's no return value. Okay, so I have some questions here. Let's see. Says so what's the, so this was split screen command. Yes, this is how you split the screen in Vim. What's the purpose of the thing on the right? I'm not sure which one, but here the right side is just like a test file of the things I want to cover, right, in this stream. So I created functions, function prototype, random numbers, and cd random numbers. We'll cover all those things here. Not if it's output void. Oh yes, if you put void in front of a function, it means you're not returning anything, right? The function does not return a value. So let's say, for example, right, if you went to, let's say let's go to the third line. So 3G like this. Oh sorry, the fourth line. Okay, yes, the third line here. Let's insert here. Actually, what I would do is I would delete this here. So let's just do DE, right? So deleted that, and then insert. So if I wanted this function to return a value, right? Okay, you know what, let's do it this way. I'll change the name of the function and its return type, or I'll just keep it that way and try to return something, right? So I'll go to the line below and then move to the end of the line here. So I'll just go to here, and then let's just insert something here. I say return 3, right? Now what will happen in this case is, let's write this, let's open the terminal. What will happen here is that the compiler will fail to compile this because we are telling the compiler this function returns void, right? It doesn't return anything, which is what void means. Well, we are returning 3 here, so the compiler will get confused and then it will throw us an error. So let's see how that will work here. So I'll just say cc index. I've typed this a lot of time. Index.c. Now you can see when return with a value in a function returning void, you can see you can return a different data type from what the function actually returns, the function declaration. So here, okay, let me do it this way. Now what we can do here is, let's move back down, and then I'll just come here. I'll click, oh sorry, I'll change the return type of this function, right? So we'll come here, we'll do something like this. We'll just go back up again. Let's go back up to this line here and change here, so we can say DE, and then let's just put int here. We can put int like this, so meaning this function should return an integer. So we can write this when we go to our terminal again. So Ctrl+W, and then we try to compile this file. So we'll say cc index.c. Now you can see the compilation was successful, and then when we run the code, we will not see the 3 printed because we are not printing it out. I mean, if we had passed this function into a print function, then we'll be able to see the output, right? So okay, David is asking a question. They say it's just warning, so it looks like it actually compiled. Yes, it did not compile, so the compilation was not successful, and then it sent a warning. Yeah, so I don't think the compilation was successful. If it was, then the output would have changed, right? But it kept the old output, so the compilation was not successful. Hence, the code remained at the previous state. So here you can see now when we try to run this code, you can see it runs. The compilation did not the compiler did not throw any error, and everything is fine. So we can also do something like this. If you want to see the output, what this function actually returns, we can actually put it in a print function, right? And then see the output on the screen. So I'll do that now. So Ctrl+WJ, and then let's move to the 9th line. So 9G here, and let's move down a little. I don't know why this gets stuck on this line. Well, anyways, let's move up a little. K. Let's delete this line, and then let's print f like this. Okay, we need to move this to the other line instead. Okay, this won't work like this, so insert delete here and then move this to this part here. So I will exit Vim again, go to normal mode again, and then WW E, insert here I like this. Okay, then go back again, write this file, move back to the top. Yep, and let's compile this again and see. Sorry, I need to delete the index file, so I'll remove it. Index. So let's clear this, and then I'll put so cc index.c. Okay, now there's an error. I guess you can't put printf inside of printf. Is that what it is? It says int. Okay, this window is too small for this. I'll just, okay, you know what, let's move this terminal to the right. So I'll come back here and close. Let's go back up again. Clear. Let's quit this terminal. I'll quit was on the left side, so S Ctrl W L. Let's also close this. So quit. Let's move the terminal to the right side. I think we can do vertical split tab, right? Is that possible? Nope, that's not what we want. Sorry, I think this has created a new buffer. Yeah, no, this is not what we want. Bloody. So let's delete this. I'll say bd buffer delete. Yeah. Okay, I want to, oh, is it v vertical tab? Is that what it is? No. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So we open it vertically. All right, so let's try to compile this code. cc index.c, and you can see the warning here. It says what, passing argument of printf makes pointer from integer without cast. Yeah, so I mean, what this is trying to say is we can't call a printf function, right? So maybe you have to convert it to char the output of hello function. Well, is that what it is? I mean, I think without printf, actually this should have worked. So let's move to the left again, and let's go to this line here. I'll go to the fourth line, and let's just try to comment this out, right? Let's write this. Let's see if this will still work. If it doesn't work, then it means maybe the data type of the function, the return type of the function is what is causing the issue. So we can just come back here and do this. So return 3. Okay, so let's do this. So I'll move to the right side, the left side with H, Ctrl W H, clear this part. You know what, I don't want to clear, so let's just Ctrl L, and then let's try to compile this again. Did I write this file? Hold on. Let's see. Let's index. Let's see. The voice is being interrupted. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now? It's just maybe if the output would be a string or char, it will work. I see. I get what you're trying to say. Let me adjust my mic quickly. Awesome. Okay, maybe if the output was this, it will work. Is that why it's not working? I mean, this language is actually strange. Let's see if that was the reason. Oh, okay. All right, thank you, David. So let's see. I'll just come back here. Maybe we should change the data type again and see whether it will work. So Control WL to the left, or you know what? Let's try this one last thing. This function is returning a value 3, right? But 3. Okay, I know why this is not working. I know why. Because to print a value in the let me move 4 downwards. To print a value as a string in the terminal. Wait, let's read the error message again. Sorry, I forgot to do that. So I'll move back here and then try to read the error message again. It says in function main, right? This is where the error happened. Index 199 12 12. Printf makes pointer from integer without a cast. Oh, you see, we need to cast the integer as a string, right? So we need to do like a typecasting, convert the integer into a string. So let's take it. Let's move this here. So I will. Yeah, I know. So we can only print strings in the terminal, not integers. And what David was saying would have worked because it would be a string, right, and not an integer. So let me move to this part here. So Control WL, and then here's what I can do. I'll just come here and then let's see, append here. I'll create a string here called the return value is, and then put my, it's an integer, right? So it will be D here like this, and let's just put like a new line there. So we can just go escape, move to the end of this. Is it the end? Yeah. So here, and then we can just no. Back, undo, control redo to the end, and then we can just do insert here, close this, right? Did we close it? Oh, it's been closed already. All right, so we can then, let's exit this, let's write this again, and then let's move to this part. Let's do this, Control H. I think now this should work. Let's clear this again. Let me see. It seems to do work. Aha. Wait, I think what does this say? Function will expected before hello function, right? Oh, sorry. This is my mistake. Let me go back again to this part. Go up a little. Let's see. Let's move 5 words forward. Okay, it was actually 7. Let's come here. I did put the comma here, so yep. So let's write this. Let's move back to this place, and then clear. Come on. I'm tired of typing clear all the time. Just to see. Yes, so it worked now. So when we try to run this file again, I think this should work. Yes, it did work. It worked. Okay. We can't see the whole code because the image from your camera is hiding it. Oh, I am so sorry. Thank you for pointing that out. Oh my god. Wow. So sorry about that. So sorry. Can you see it now? I've actually moved it a little. I've moved it now. In fact, I can even hide the image completely. I mean, there's no need for me to show my face anyway. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. I think there is a reason why all of these things are not, what did I type before? There was a command I used when when I wanted to let's go back to the other window. Control WL. Yep. And then let's do this. Yeah, so right below vsplit topic. Okay, let me just write this down. So if you did wrote right below vs split file name here, this will split into a different side, yeah, like this. Oh, not different side, but like the right side. So on the right, I want is it possible for me to like right below term? Is that possible? Oh yes, it is. But I don't want it like that. So let me move it back here. Let me close this terminal here, Control D, and then I'll just move the terminal to the right. Okay, since I'll be coding on this side, I don't want it to close my image to close the view, so I'll just move it here. Okay, so let me do it like this. I'll say right below, is it right below? Yeah, right. Nah, that will not work. So let's do it again. I wanted to try right vsplit and then terminal. Right. Or is vsplit terminal 18 vsplit. I thought wait vsplit term. Yes, but we want it on the right, not there, not on the left. So, oh, this created a new buffer. Can you imagine? So, the yeah. So we want it on the left or the right side. So say right. Let's try it right below v split tab. Would this work? Another buffer again, so let's speed delete this buffer. Let's see again. Let's try something else. I'll say right, I mean v split term. If you did term like this, it will open it on the right side. So is it vs vs term v split term v split? I think let's do right v split term. Nope. Okay, there's something else we need to do. I need to find out how to do this thing. How to open the terminal on the left in Vim. How to open the terminal on the right in Vim. So you boost control. No. How to open terminal on right click? No. Wait. So you can to cycle through the window, resizing and positioning. Control W. Moving and rearranging. I mean, this website here is actually good. So let's see. It's only good when it solves my problem. Toggle terminal mode. Well, control and key combination. I don't want the terminal on the left if I vertically split it. So what do I do now? What do I do? Terminal. I actually did right below v split term before, but this created a new file. This is not what I want. It created a new buffer. Sorry, bd. What have I done? Okay, save that for me. I actually want something else. I want to do this. Let me see where I can get my answer. Sorry. vertical on the line on the right in Vim, right? Let's see. Where is this? It says, this is an interesting one. Let me just come back here. Okay, so right below them will not work. I'm not sure. Oh, hello, Yusuf. It says, what are you trying to achieve? Well, the program itself is not the problem, right? I'm just trying to like open the terminal on the right. I think this should work. No, it puts it below, right below. What about right stem instead? Control D. How about right stem instead? Right stem. Would this work? What's that? What was that? Unbelievable. Right below term opens the terminal below. We want to open it on the right side. So vertical term will wait, if I did right wait, right below, and then so right below, opposite below, right? What if we change it to vertical term? I'm writing this down. This is crazy. So right below vertical term, right below vertical term, open the terminal to the right, and vertical term itself will just open the terminal on the left. So right below vertical term will open the terminal on the right. Okay, so this is what I want. Now, as I've seen also on this website that you can actually adjust the windows of the terminal. So let me see. The windows opened. So opening tabs. No. Managing positions, toggle mode. Navigation. So if you did Control plus W and then increase the height, I want to increase the width of the current window. So let's see if that will work. So Control W here, Control W, and oh my god, I just quit. What just happened? Bloody hell. What have I done? Command quit so far. What just happened? Vim. Oh god. No way. What? I'm messing this up big time. Sorry. ls vim index.c So let's open the terminal. So right below right below term, right below vertical term, vertical. Is there a way to like combine these commands into like your own custom commands? Like just make a key combination instead of typing all of this. This is boring. I wanted to shift this window, but instead this ended up closing the window. Increase the height, increase the width of the current window. If I did that, it will just Control H. Sorry, oh god. Come on. What's happening? My cursor is no longer moving. Let me just close this again. And you know what? That doesn't matter anymore. I'll just leave it like that. I would. Let's see. There is something else I need to do. Vertical term should work. Yeah, but vert term opposite on the left by default, and I wanted it to be on the right, so which is why I did not use vert term. Yeah. So let's just continue with writing some functions in C. So another thing we can do here's what I also realized. So if you come down here, right, let's say this function here, you can actually define a function. You have to malloc it. What does that mean? What's malloc? Let's see, what is malloc? All right, let me continue my explanation. So another thing you can do is you can define a function without declaring it, or you can declare a function without defining it, and it's called a function prototype. So let me show you what that is. So for example, let's move up a little and then go to the last part. Okay, go back. The next word here, so ci, and then we just put this here. No, let's undo that. Let's just delete these lines here. Let's go to the top. H. Let's come here. So this function here can remain like this, right? Let's go to this part. This function can remain like this, and then C will be able to still call it here after we, implement the function itself. So let's come here. Let's do this again. I'll just go back to this part here and go to the last line. After the main function, sorry, we can actually declare the function there. So we can define the function, sorry. Here we can just do this. We just press O, then come down a little bit and say here we want int hello function, and then okay, we can also do this. We just say return This time around, we'll tell it to return 5. Okay. So exit Vim, then and to indent that. Oh, we might get an error here. So let's go back up again and to the end of this line, and then append this here. Okay, so let's come here and then put this here, write this file again, open our terminal here, and then let's just compile this code, index.c. Okay, so there's an error. Oh, I wrote funct instead of function. Okay, sorry, my bad. Control WH. It's not moving. It's like my computer is freezing. I'm not sure what's going on. This is supposed to move back here, but it's not. What's happening? Hopeless. So close it and let's just open the terminal like this. This is still not working. Why is that? Control W and J is not working. That's interesting. I'm not sure why that's happening, but anyways, you know what, we can just do all our correction and combination here. So the reason why that function did not work is because of the name. Here it is hello func, and here I wrote hello funct. So I can come back here, delete this, go back here, and then we can just compile it here, cc index. Oh, sorry. I just do it like this. cc index. Come on. Okay. Was the compilation successful? Oh, I didn't write the file. Sorry. cc. I prefer to see the terminal. I'm not sure why the terminal is not moving my keys back. I can't move back and forth. Why is that? That's crazy. cc index .c, and the compilation was successful, so we can now run the function here. We can just say out. You can see 5 was returned, even though we just create. So here we did not define the function completely, right? We just declared it. This is a function prototype. So see, the compiler will know, okay, there is a function called hello world that returns an integer, right? So when it comes to this slide here, it encounters this function and goes to there's what's it called again? Hold on. I think it's what's the name of that thing again? Hold on. It's like it's a position check, right? Where the function is defined in your, let's see, I'll keep forgetting this word. What is it called? Hold on. What's the name? I'm looking for a term. Sorry. Let's see. Okay, so there's an explanation here. It says it will allocate the memory on the heap instead of allocating it in the stack with malloc. It's for dynamic memory allocation. Oh, Balloc. Is that what Balloc is? Well, I'm actually learning C to do low level programming. Build stuff. I actually program in JavaScript, PHP, and so on. But I want to learn low level programming. I'm not sure, um, what cool thing I'll build with it yet, but it's just something on my list that I need to learn. And then as time goes, I mean, I have a list of things that I want to build with C, right? Maybe build my own database engine, my own, how do you call it? What's the name? Even code editor, for example. But anyways, for now, I'm just like trying to like grasp the concept of C and then learn it, the right way. So yeah, I think the word I'm looking for, I'm not sure if it's hoisting, right? Where the program is able to go back and look for a function definition, right, and be able to like get the value, the implementation of that function, and run it. But function prototypes are simply functions that you declare before you even call them, right? You can declare those functions and call them later on. Those are what function prototypes are. Or that's what a function prototype is. Sorry. Let's see. Who is here? I see there's a rule that says if you're creating function prototypes, even though they don't take any arguments, you need to pass it a value. So I'm reading that from here, right? So you still need to pass like a void to here, something like this. You need to pass its void to, instead of an empty parameter, you just pass it void. So this is the function definition and this is the prototype. This is a call to the prototype or the function definition. Okay, we have that there. That's actually everything you need to know. But there's a way. Let's see. I think I need to actually know how this thing works, right? I mean, if the program is running in a do you double generative models and Comfy UI too, maybe? What's not working? What's Comfy UI? Let me see. Comfy UI. Comfy UI generates. Oh, is this what Comfy UI is? This? Well, oh, this is cool. Anyways, I'll check it out later. Let me finish my what I'm doing now. This is not what you asked for. This is not what you asked for. Okay. I'm not sure why my terminal is not moving around. Maybe I should quit Vim altogether and open it again. Alright, still running ad. Wow. see, it's not working. So Control D, close. Let's quit that. Clear everything here. You know what, let's leave this like this. Vim index.c. Okay. Term still not working. Quit everything all together. Vim index.c again. Terminal. Control W. Yeah, it's now working. It's working now. Okay, that's cool. All right, this is good. So quit this again. I mean, I can just like Control D and then right below vertical split, vertical, then right. Is that it? Yeah. So if I do Control W H, okay, it's working now. So let's build a simple program. Actually, I tried to let's open this here. I tried to, let's see, we only have these here. I tried to cover what do you call it, the random function in C, right? So let's say, was it topics, yeah. So I have topics open too. So we have prototypes. Okay, come on now, don't need to do that. Function prototype random numbers and exceeding random numbers. Okay, so let's go back to our function here. You know what, let's create a different function. I'll call this e random dot txt. Oh, sorry, random dot, oh come on, random dot c, right? So we can just come here and write some random numbers. Now there is an example here, but we can also try it out and see, and maybe we can also build like a cool game out of it. So here is the random number lesson. Here it is. Take sorry, find, come on, oh, Control F, random here. Okay, so we have some random number functions here. It's already 4 p.m. Wow, how long have I been streaming for? Wow, almost 2 hours. Okay, we can do this. We can just like use some random numbers. Comes up. So there's a header file for using random numbers. Otherwise, doing this will cause an error, right? So let's try use some random numbers and maybe build a guessing game, right? So I'll just come here. Okay, let's insert here. So we can look at the implementation here. There's an example here actually. You know what? This is wrong, but I'll just do it for the sake of time. So here is some function, right? So let's just go ahead and save this. Okay, then let's try to run this cc random.c, Okay, and let's try to run this function and see what will happen. So ls, so we have a.out, okay, a.out. Now you can see some random numbers on the screen from 11 all the way to this is too long. Let's just get this out a little bit. Let's reduce it to maybe 100 is a lot, so we can reduce it to 10, right? So let's move to the line above, and then we can just say here we want 10 instead, and here we want it to be to just run 5 times, right? So if it's not equal to 5, then we just keep running. So put 5 here. Okay, then write, oh no, not like that. Undo this, insert 5, and then let's save this. Okay, Ctrl W here and move to the side, and let's compile this. Okay, and when we run this function again, we'll have less output. Now you can see we have 3, 6, 7, 5, right? So what this program is, this is a do while loop. So it's saying while r, which is this integer here, is still not equal to 5, then run this. Now the interesting thing about do while loops is that the do loop runs at least once before this condition is checked, right? So it will run for the first time and it will print out 3, and then it will run again for this condition because this is not true yet, it's still false. So I mean, this is still true, sorry, this is still true because 3 is not equal to the number we are looking for, right? I mean, the value of the r here, which is the random number generated 3, which is not equal to 5. So it keeps running until r, or the random number, becomes 5, and then we stop the loop, right? Now if we run this code again, you will see that we keep getting the same sequence of number 3, 6, 7, 5. Now the reason why this is happening is because rand here, this rand function here, it's a pseudo random number generator that must be seeded with a different number to generate different number sequences. So how do we seed the number so that it gives us different number sequence? Well, there is a different thing to also include, which is srand, right? We can use the srand to seed it. When you come to this page here, you can see it here, there's an explanation to it. So srand here, you can see seed the built-in pseudo random number, and there's a description about it. You can read it to actually understand what goes on, but here's the implementation. So you pass in the type of null, so this has to happen before you even use the random number, so you have to do this, and then once you call the srand function and pass its type, you'll be able to generate new random number each time the function runs, right? So let's try that and see. We can come back here and say here, move back to the top. So we need to generate it before the random function runs. So we can go back up here. Let's move to the top here like this, and then insert, right? Okay, instead of inserting, let me just put a new line here, indentation needed, and then we can now say srand, right? And then we'll put in time, call the null function, the null, but there's an explanation to this. I mean, if you read the documentation, you understand more. So we need to include the time header file into our program. Otherwise, this will give us an error. So we can go back up here. So 3 capital, oh, sorry, let's exit Vim first. So we exit Vim, 3 capital G. So 3 G here, and then we'll put our header file. Sorry, include Christ, this, I've forgotten where the keyboard is. I mean the keys are, so it's not std but it's time. I think it's just time like this. Let me see, time, and then oh, I can see malloc here, but I don't know what mallocs are, but I'll read about them later on. Yeah, so time.h, okay, time.h, it's also a header file. Now this program should run just fine, so let's write this, move to the next window, clear this part here, compile the code, and then run it again. Oh my god, so there's an issue. There is an issue because I think because we are running this here inside of the do loop, it keeps running every time we run the function. It may still run depending on how lucky or lucky you are. Yeah, okay, so let's see. Let's correct this code here. Our program just crashed. We had an error, a bug. So the bug is actually here. Let's move down a little, and let's move this line to, I think to move a line you can move it like this, like move it to -2. Yeah, that works. So we can just go back here. Yes, so the indentation is nice now. This should work. This should work now. I think this should work. Yep, it worked. It worked. It run, although it run more than how many times? Bloody. Okay. Yeah, so it stayed within the range of 0 to 9 until we got to 5, then it stopped. Okay, so srun needs to run only once, not, you know, every time the loop tries to run the do block here. It only has to run once at the beginning of your program before you use the random number here. So with that, we can actually build a little game. Let's build like a random number generator, and then you can use the command line to guess the number and then see what the answer is. So let's clear this again. I'll clear here. Okay, let's move back to this part here. So I'll come here, I'll create a new file called guess game.c. okay, and then let's begin to include some of the stuff here. So insert mode, sorry about that. So we want to build a game that starts with first of all, when you open the game, it tells you to guess a number, right? So already we had prepared the number to guess, so it will ask you to guess a number. When you guess the number higher than what it is, it will tell you to guess again and maybe give you some clue, right? And tell you, oh, this number is too high, guess lower, or this number is too low, guess higher, until you guess the right number, right? So let's try that and see. So first of all, we can just start with our preprocessor directive. So include stdio time.h, right? That's the header file for printf and scanf functions that we'll be using. We also need to include the random std, was it std rand or what was it? Let me see. So here's another helpful thing to do in this case. So we can exit vim, right, and then move to, just write this, just keep it there, and do bn to the next buffer and look at it here. Now this is not the one we want, so we can do b, and then maybe let's say, what was it, random, yeah. So random was the one, so stdlib.h, and then the time header file. Okay, so we can just do b guess game and go back here and come to this line, just go to the end of the line with the $sign std library. So we do insert, sorry, come on Siri, std lib, right, stdlib.h, and there we can now include time.h like this. So we can start our function here, int main. I mean, you can put void because this does not return anything anyway. So int main. So here's the first part. We first of all need to create a variable for our random number. So I'll say int here. This will be the where we store the random number, right? But before we do that, we actually need to create the random number first. So we'll say srand, let's just do that first. Srand, and let's seed it with time and put null here like this. Okay, now we can say int r with our random number, right? R is our random number, and then let's just call it let's call it r. Let's say it's going to be a random number, rand, right? What's the margin for this random number? We can just stop at, let's just do something small, between 0 and 10. So that's 0, 10, and not up to the 0 to 9. So if we do 0 to 11, then 10 will be included. All right, so now we can start with printf. Also we need our guess. So we can say int the guess for our old guess. Let's just leave it like that. We just put it there, and then here's what we need to do. We can say printf hello, guess the random number. You know what, there's no hello there, just guess the number like this, guess the number, and then we can just print a new line. So I will actually make this look nicer by just saying here, just print a new line here, and then on the new line just put this, right, and close it like this. Okay, now this is the interesting part where we need to like keep the question going until the user gets the right answer. So we can say, we can use a while loop. While you can use true by including the boolean header, or just like 1, because I mean 1 is true in C. So we can say while 1, right? We can say scanf. So scanf actually gets the user input from the terminal. Scanf, and then we just put this here. So say d, and then we assign this to our guess. So here we'll say this will be the guess. Okay, and then we can close this here and say, okay, so if the guess, if our guess is less than the random number, which is r, right? If the guess is less than the random number, we can say print f. Now this loop here is supposed to cost like an infinite loop, but we will be able to control when it stops, right? Otherwise it just keeps asking you the question to guess the random number. So let's say print f. So in this case, it means your guess is actually lower than the random number. So too low, guess higher. Like this, too low, guess higher. Then we'll put n here like this and close the parenthesis. Here we can just say here like this, indent the code again, append, else if the random number, if the guess is superior to our random number, then we can do this. We can say printf, right? Then we say too high, guess lower, like this. Okay, and then print a new line like that, put this here, close, then close it here like this, put your indentation, and then else if we get the right number, then we can just say print f you, or just say correct. Can you print like emojis in I'm not sure, correct, let me just say, but let's use this green one here. I've not actually tried this before, but let's see what it gives us. Is this possible to print emojis? I don't know. Let's leave it like that. Let's correct the answer is, let me just put it here like this, d, and then we'll just put the value here. We'll say the answer is r. Let's put r here. Okay, close this and exit Vim, indentation again. Now this is looking good. Actually, let's move back up and add some space here. Those are just my preferences. Let's close the loops here. Add this here, and then okay, sorry, that's good. Then we can bring back, let's add the one for the function itself. So here, and then so here. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. Here we start with the random number. We create a random number by choosing between 0 and 10, 11 not included. Yeah, here is to set the random number, otherwise we'll keep getting the same random number over and over again. So let me see, my stream is still going on. All right, so now what will happen here is we'll print this message and ask the user to guess a random number, right? Now the user will input something, we'll assign that value to the guess here, which is this integer we created here. Now if the guess is less than the random number, we'll say too low, guess higher. If the guess is higher, we'll say too high, guess lower, and then if they got the correct number, we'll just print a message. Now here is a problem. When we print the message, we need to stop the function from running again. So we need to go back up again to the end of this line. Let's just insert a return. Since this function is returning something, just return 0. So it returns an integer, right? Int. So let's return 0. Come back here and save. So let's now go to our terminal to see how this function will work. So Control WL. Yeah, here, and then we can just do this. We just say cc what's the name of the guess game? Let's see. Okay, there's an error. Oh, you see, I wrote stb instead of std. So let's go back up to the second line, so 2g, and then we'll move to the next one here. Actually, let's move 3h. No, it's anyways, it's std, not stb. So d is here, so you just delete this, right? Insert d, std. Yeah,